Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Pubcast, episode number 9, I believe. If I'm wrong, Duncan, put a
definitely
thumbs
number
down.
9.
And as you may have noticed, we do have an additional person with us today. I don't know if you've noticed, Duncan, that there's 3 of us now rather than
Hang on, He's over there. There he is.
For me,
I'm sorry, that only works on the video
Am I right?
podcast, actually, but yeah, he's
Yeah.
over there.
Hanging out in the corner.
Indeed.
So we do have Tom with us. So welcome, Tom.
Hello, everyone.
One of our many subscribers, weren't you, Tom, before?
I
and
am.
I know you knew Duncan before. Obviously, we started doing the podcast. And
yet he still wants to talk to me.
I believe I was your first subscriber, actually. So we are.
Hey, see what subscribing gets you.
This is the thing.
If you're a subscriber out there, this could be you. You could be Tom right now. One of the. You're going to be like hopefully a regular fixture coming onto our podcast because we've had a bit of chat sort of in a WhatsApp, and you definitely
know your gaming, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And
I would hope so.
You're a gamer of all things retro, modern, VR, console, PC, everything, really, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm all-round gaming geek.
What was your first console then, Tom, if you can remember?
Oh, well, I'd say first machine was the Amstrad 464, which is the same machine is still sitting upstairs.
Spectrum for the win.
No, never. And first console would have been either the Game Boy or the SNES. They would have been the first ones. So
that was my first console, was the Game Boy.
Yeah, 1989 Christmas.
Did you have a supportive gaming family, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we used to. There definitely wasn't a lot of money in our family at the time, but Mum used to take us down the market, and we'd always get a game. I think RoboCop always sticks in my mind, the Ocean software game, and got the big box version, and spent many a time getting killed on that, which was fun.
Oh, there's only one RoboCop game that I remember. I think it was number 3. There was a 3D game. I mean, obviously the film was terrible, but the game was a 3D one on like Amiga
or Atari.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic game.
Oh, you're hurting me.
But the film was terrible. Don't watch the film, people.
Oh, definitely. But no, it was good. It was good. And
so nowadays, what do you game on?
Where do I start? So, still got the retro collection, Super Nintendo. Well, no, they changed it a different way. Everything from about 1982 through to now, PlayStation 5. So we're doing Switch, mostly Switch Online, PlayStation 5, Oculus Quest 2. Those are the modern ones. And definitely Super Nintendo and Amstrad and GameCube are probably the retro ones that we're doing at the moment.
So Nintendo, very much Nintendo when it comes to the retro stuff, and then obviously newer stuff, PlayStation. But you got the Switch as well. So are you like a Zelda fan or?
I love the new Zelda. I think it's fantastic. I think mostly I'm playing the original Mario Kart on the Switch Online at the moment.
Yeah,
I have a friend of mine that seems to think he can win. He hasn't so far. We have a bit of a bragging rights on the go. So
you have children. Are they still at the point where you can absolutely destroy them?
Always. Apart from on Roblox, which I refuse to play. We're playing, and I kept the name of this on the screen. We've got a Racket NX on the Oculus Quest 2, which is like a futuristic tennis game, and it's really competitive with the boys. But it is a fantastic
high score kind of game.
It's very much Tron disc-like tennis. It's it's a really impressive game and very competitive. So join a few friends online with that one.
So you've got one or two gaming things that you play on.
Just a few. It's a bit of an addiction. So,
I mean, we didn't bring you on for your good looks then. Yeah. Obviously, we do have that as an added bonus. Obviously,
yeah, a bonus. Just in case this doesn't work out, we can form a boy band, can't we?
Well, this is those were the days. Yeah, I've got a Panasonic 3DOs. I think 19 various.
That had a Zelda game on it, wasn't it? The Panasonic.
Yes, the universally.
CDI.
Oh, that was a CDI, was it?
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah.
The universally worst one ever.
The panned ones, yeah. Everything
Mario.
else. It got Hotel Mario.
In fact, they had 2 Zelda games. One of them still brings about £600 to buy it. I know, and it's awful.
Could you imagine paying £600 and then? I mean, I've seen videos of it. It's just even the animation on it is awful, as well as the fact that the game is universally panned as one of the like a terrible game ever, let alone a Zelda game. £600, you'd just cry, wouldn't you? Even if you were a millionaire.
And I think it's worse than Pit Fighter on the Super Nintendo, and that's saying something. That was probably. I
had Pit Fighter on the Game Boy.
Yep, just as bad.
yeah. That it didn't translate well. The photo kind of Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat style, but before Mortal Kombat. Yeah,
1984 digitized graphics.
Did not work on Game Boy.
What generation was the Panasonic 3DO? Was that
so we're talking I think it's 128-bit. So we're talking Atari Jaguar around that era. So just before the PlayStation 2. I may stand corrected on that. I think it certainly was within the first 2 PlayStation generations. And then obviously you had the CDI. It was the CDI, the Atari Jaguar, and the Panasonic 3DO. So,
okay. I've never played the Jaguar though. That was a console I've never played. It didn't really.
It have the controller that you slid in like covers for the buttons.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. And each one you get them with the games. They were inserts with the game, so you'd have the instruction booklet, the controller insert. So, for instance, like Doom on the Atari Jaguar was absolutely fantastic, as was Aliens vs Predator, which is probably the best game of the entire console. The controllers would map out what you needed to do on the controller, because it was a really strange controller.
Yeah, it was a bit like the Dreamcast controller kind of shape, wasn't it?
Yeah, with more buttons, like number buttons, and then the controller types at the top. It was very strange.
Always been like, I'm someone who I go on eBay and I'll buy retro consoles, even though I sometimes don't even have any plan to play it. But I don't know. I see like a GameCube and I think about my childhood or my school memories, and then I want to go back to that. So I buy it out of nostalgia, and I get like Metroid Prime or whatever, or Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, and then I do that again. I get a Dreamcast or whatever. And the Atari Jaguar has always been a console which has intrigued me, but I know my partner wouldn't be happy if I keep just buying retro game consoles.
Wasn't it also the first 64-bit? Because they
it is 64-bit, isn't it?
I think they advertise it as the
they advertised it
the
as
first
that.
Atari Jaguar 60 or Atari 64 or Jaguar.
It was
64.
never truly 64-bit.
No, it was a bit of a fake thing, wasn't it? Yeah. But no, I never.
It's good. It's worth owning.
Never
it
played
really
the
is.
Jaguar.
Yeah, it's worth owning. The CD add-on isn't worth the money, but it's a nice add-on. The Jaguar VR, I was lucky to try that.
It was a VR?
Yeah, there was a Jaguar VR. I owned one at one stage, and I owned a working one, which there aren't many in the world. I was very lucky to get hold of one, and there aren't many games that work for it. But I managed to find a hack of, I swear it was Asteroids, if I remember rightly, or no, Missile Command, and it was fantastic. You move your head, it change you had the controller, the hand stick, but overall it was just a waste of space. It wasn't worth it. The headaches were pretty full on. I mean, it was worse than the Virtual Boy.
Didn't Sega did a VR, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was shelved actually because of consumer safety.
What, as in nausea and vomiting and travel sickness kind of thing?
Migraines.
Nice.
Yeah. Some of the test subjects for that VR came out feeling rather ill.
Do you still have a Virtual Boy? Because I've always wanted to try that.
I don't. Mine fell on the floor. My kids, when they were very young, dropped it, and all the mirrors went out of sync. One of them smashed, and that was the end of my Virtual Boy. I tried to repair it. It was a no-go.
You sure that wasn't the end of your boy? Let alone
adoption was considered.
Excellent. Oh well, I mean, I think we could have a whole episode dedicated to what you
could. Yeah, we could do like a show and tell, couldn't we?
But I think we want to keep some for other episodes. And
yes,
we do. We don't want to use up all of Tom's stuff on the first episode.
Although I think I could have gone and made a cup of tea while he was describing all the units he owns and had. But
we saw a lot of pictures, didn't we, on the WhatsApp group? I know you don't have them all now, but you did have a pretty
it's a heavy discussion.
Impressive collection.
I think cupboards full is an appropriate description.
Sure, yes. Yeah. Cupboards, lofts, you name it, it was full on. But yeah, joys of parenting and owning a house, you downsize slightly, but there's still a fair chunk up there.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably still open up a small museum, just not a full on.
Yeah.
Right, so
Duncan, have you been there? Have there been anything else out this week, Duncan? I can't think of any games that came out on the Xbox.
There has only been Starfield. Let's face it. There has been other games, I think, come on Game Pass, or there is this week and whatnot. But no, it's just been Starfield. And I have actually got to, despite, I don't know if people saw the video I released, because my boy was determined not to let me play because he was playing Minecraft. I did get to play it in the end, and what can I say? Well, I'll start with the good. Yeah, I think I'll start with the good. It is a Bethesda game, as far as I'm concerned. That's a good thing. It looks fantastic, even on Series X. I mean, the 30 frames per second hasn't bothered me at all. So yeah, in terms of the graphics, the lighting is fantastic. Obviously, on a high-end PC, it's going to look a lot better. But for what I need, absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful game. There is the usual, the Fallout, Skyrim, the facial animations and character animations are not great, and they're just better textured versions of that, so that's not too great. But the worlds and the view from space, all that kind of thing, is amazing. It looks brilliant, and it will make most computers struggle, or most PCs struggle. Also, if you like having lots of missions, I think within 2 hours of starting, I had about 30 missions that I had on my list. I didn't even. I won't spoil anything. You start as a miner, you do a couple of things, and then you end up in what Bethesda call their major city, that is their biggest city they've ever produced, New Atlantis. And I didn't leave there for the next 10 hours. So I was running backwards and forwards, joining equivalent of guilds, joining guilds, and there was even one. There was one mission that was taking a coffee for somebody, and I was quite happy for that because the city looks great. You can travel across it great. You can walk, or you can get a tram. You can fast travel. You have a scanner, and every time you activate the scanner, you can see things that are far away, and you can just press A when you're on the controller, looking at them, and you automatically. It asks you if you want to fast travel, so you can fast travel with that. And yeah, I mean, there was so many things that I just walked past people, and it would come up a new mission would appear in the corner. And yeah, so for 10 hours, I had to force myself to leave the city in the end. It was just, for me, I love that kind of thing of getting more missions and running from one place to another. I mean, I'll get into bad as well. The bad, I think it's been in most reviews, the inventory menu. The inventory menu is absolutely dire. You have to go right. I mean, you can set up some favorites, but you have to go in a mission to in the menu to go into a menu to find, and then if you're in the galaxy map as well, you have to go in with the galaxy. Oh yeah, just the inventory. But then again, the way I look at it is that Skyrim without mods, the inventory on that is absolutely terrible. When I played it on PC, I always modded it to have. I can't remember what it was called, but it was one of those big mods that changes everything. So if that is typical Bethesda jank. The story so far, I'm enjoying it so far. I've forced myself to do a few more main missions because I think I got to 16 hours and I hadn't touched a main mission other than the very first one. And it's typical Bethesda Fallout kind of stuff. Go here. There's some people, kill them. Or talk to them, persuade. There is one thing that I think equally, I'm not sure whether I like or not, and I think a few reviews have said they don't like it. Is that some skills are literally locked behind a skill point. So if you want to use a boost pack, that you've got a boost pack on your back, you can't use it until you've got the boost pack skill. So it's not a case of you get a boost pack and you can use it a little bit and get better at it kind of thing and jump higher. You had to put a skill point into it until you could even use it. If you like VATS from Fallout, there is no VATS. The shooting on the ground is just shooting. There is, however, target locking on certain systems on the space battles. So you can target engines, and that means you can then board people once their engines are destroyed. Oh god, there's so much I could talk about, and I could literally talk about half an hour. So I've boarded some ships and shot people, and I've upset my colleagues that have come. I don't know what do they call them, the compatriots, the people that come along with you. I've upset them quite a few times because a few times I've just gone, yeah, I don't like that person, blam, and just shot them. But that's the beauty of these things. Like Baldur's Gate 3, I'm trying to play that as well at the same time, but they're both huge games. But those games, you have to almost try to not necessarily click yes on everything, because you can walk away from something. You can say no to a character if they say, oh, please help me, or can you go and get this thing for me and I will give you this thing. You can say no, kill them, and then get the thing, but you'll annoy all your friends, all the people, and if you're in a city, you will obviously get arrested or whatever. I haven't got arrested yet. I've only killed people when it's been on random planets, like very much abandoned planets. And I haven't even got into the shipbuilding yet. The shipbuilding, I've managed to get, I think, 3 ships I own now. And it's done very well that when you steal a ship from pirates or somebody like that, that they make you pay about the same amount as you'd get selling it to own it. So you can't just get loads of ships and sell them kind of thing. You have to register them, and registering them costs basically a little less than what you sell. So you only make a small amount if you just go out and get your ship, attack people. But yeah, I personally am loving it. I can see a lot of the negative points from reviews in it, but a lot of people, I think, were expecting No Man's Sky with narrative section part of it, and it is not. If you go in looking for No Man's Sky or Elite, you're gonna have a bad time. You are, because it is Fallout. It is Fallout, but in space, and it has some space shooting and different planets. And yeah, I think once you've also once you've been to a planet, you can quick travel there. But until you've been to a planet, you have to do a jump between systems, which shows you the animation, and so can take you 20 seconds, and then it has to load up that. So yeah, it's not a. It's very hard to give a game 10 out of 10. So it's a 9.7 out of 10. It's going to keep me going for a long time. I've done about 20 hours in it now, and I barely scratched the surface. I think I've done 4 main missions, and probably about 40 other things, because there are some things which are take this thing over there or go and deliver this to, and you don't even have to do anything with some of the delivery missions. Some of the delivery missions are literally land on a planet and then it goes, you've delivered. So those are sort of just how you make a bit of quick money. But yeah, you said Fallout 4 was your favourite game. I'm afraid, Martin, then you are going to flipping love this game. And having a PlayStation 5, I'm sorry, but you're going to love it.
I know. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't have an Xbox or a gaming PC. So, but we did say about last week about potentially. I don't know if we said it on the podcast or afterwards. We used to, you can stream stuff off smart TVs. Did look at it. I got a Philips TV. Can't do it on the Philips TV.
You can sideload the app onto a Fire Stick. I don't know if you've got a Fire Stick anywhere, but I don't think you get very good. It doesn't quite work so well there. Have you got Game Pass, Tom?
I haven't. I was one of those strange people who used Google Stadia for a period of time. And
I did get a refund because I bought one of the Founders Pack when they sold them off for about £30, but that was because I got a Chromecast with it.
Well, I got it for free because I subscribed to YouTube Pro, and now the controller
they did
can
quite
be
a few
used.
of them. Yeah,
So the controller itself now can be used as a Bluetooth controller.
Yes, I've converted mine, so I use it as on my living room TV.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of the best controllers I've ever used. Weirdly,
it's really well made, and it's got quite a sort of good weight to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like it's just cheap plastic rubbish, but because last episode we were saying about the fact that you could play Game Pass Ultimate, although as well with that video, I don't know if you saw that. When my son was demanding to play Minecraft, and I thought that's all right. I will play it on cloud gaming. Nope. Because I was playing on early access. Technically, it wasn't on Game Pass Ultimate.
But you've got a Steam Deck, and you can install Bedrock Edition on the Steam Deck. No.
I played Starfield. Sorry, Starfield. So while he was playing on the Xbox, he was demanding. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to watch me play my space game. He was like, no, I want to play Minecraft. And then so I thought, I can play it on cloud gaming. But because it was technically not released, it wasn't on cloud gaming, so I couldn't play it.
I did see a story about those who were trying to use the cloud gaming to play it, that they were having to wait to get onto it because there's such a
I've had to wait. I've probably started it up on cloud gaming because I also am fortunate enough when I go to work, I'm able to do a bit of gaming. I started up probably 5 times, and probably 3 out of those times I've had to wait 2 minutes. But that's all I've had to wait. So it's not terrible, but it is sort of a thrown-on freebie to Game Pass Ultimate.
I think my son's installed Game Pass, the app, and the PlayStation remote app to his Steam Deck. So he plays all of those remotely, which works really well. And the Epic Game Store, so he can play Fortnite via the Steam Deck. So he's quite active in playing some of the new games, streaming.
Yeah. I mean, Steam Deck, you can, if you go into desktop mode, you can install things like Heroic and Lutris that mean you can play.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever paid anything for Epic, but I've basically got however many years they've been going worth of free games.
That's it.
which is pretty good library. I think I must have sort of 70 or 80 games on there because every week go on and claim them. I keep saying to some friends of mine who don't own a PC, still do it, because you never know when you own a PC, or you never know when Epic might come to a deal with Microsoft, unlikely, and go, yeah, you could do cloud gaming via Xbox if you want.
Yeah. We just picked up Zombie, a game on Steam Deck. It was originally released on the Wii U. It was called Zombie U.
Oh, yeah.
Double I.
Outstanding zombie game. Dated, but outstanding. And
it's like in London, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
So
okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, really, it's on offer on the Steam library at the moment, and fantastic game. And there's missions, so you go out to pick up certain things, and you have to come back to base to sleep. And then you go all through Buckingham Palace, the London Underground.
Is the Queen there? Hello, one would like your brains.
It is rumoured she's in the game. Her guards are in there with the hats and the red coats and stuff, all zombified, and it's really good. You have to solve puzzles and things, but it is an old game. But it stands up today as one of the best zombie games ever released.
I mean, you've got a Wii U, haven't you, recently?
I do. I not a while. I've had it for a while. I've had it for a few years now, but I probably play my Wii U at the moment more than I play my PS5, just because I got obviously they shut down the store now, but I can't get anything unless I was to do things that I'm not going to discuss on a podcast, which I haven't done in my Wii U. I should just. I know, like there's like I did join a Facebook group about modding Wii U's, and because I was tempted at one point in time, because they don't see a lot of people seem to do it because there seems like a good console to do it on, and you can get quite a bit on there. But I just use the virtual console because so I got quite a lot of like Nintendo games on there. So I got like Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, all the Zeldas, so Majora Mask, Ocarina of Time.
So although the store's shut down, you can still download things to it
if you own them.
If you own them, yeah.
Yeah, you can't purchase anything now.
You can't purchase, but you can still download, yeah?
Yeah. Although they've just announced the 3DS store is coming back, and you can get stuff off of that. So there are rumours the Wii U store is coming back.
Wow, that'd be good. There was quite a few stuff I wanted to get before it closed down. And I just, because there's like this one where I can't remember what it's called, where it's like it's space travel or something like that, where you control a spaceship, but it's you can play it with quite a few of your friends or whatever. So I was going to potentially get that, but then
I remember those.
Affordable space adventures.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one I was gonna get that, and then that closed down. I don't know if you can get a physical or physically, because if you can,
probably can with the code, but whether that's redeemable. But you can. There are means and ways of getting the game. So
like this week alone, I've been playing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Yes.
Wii U, but also got ported onto the Switch. I was saying to Duncan about the Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. Play that. That also got ported over to Switch. So a lot of games from Wii U are now. See 3D World as well.
Yeah,
big one is Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And if you put them side by side, the difference is minimal. It really is minimal.
And apparently, I was going to say, Gamescom, there was behind the scenes a demo of the Switch 2, and apparently they use Breath of the Wild as the demo as well. So it's still holding up this day with the second generation after being a demo machine for being the software.
So apparently, the Switch 2 is from a few people I know in and around Nintendo and links to that sort of the developers. It's a full 4K kit that is comparable to the current Xbox. Now, this is an argument for later, but the PlayStation 5 graphically apparently now exceeds the current Xbox. So the Switch 2 is going to be comparable in portable mode to the current Xbox. They also have a number of games that are midway developed. The developer kits have been out longer than what has now come out in the press.
Oh yeah, I mean they just know as developers, don't they? If they say anything about it to anyone, that they won't get licenses. So,
and interestingly, they've announced we're getting the full Arkham pack to the current Switch, the Batman Arkham City.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, and then we're going to get.
They've just made those compatible with the Steam Deck as well. So anybody with a Steam Deck, because those have been one of the big ones that have never been supported. I think they've been supported via various patches or whatever. But so if you've always been a Nintendo person, then that'd be a good thing to pick up because they're fantastic games.
That's good. Going to say that they might be making Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch 2 as we speak. You never know.
Yeah, and just read Daytona 2 is getting a digital re-release on current consoles. So a HD remix of Daytona USA, which is Daytona 2. So that is coming to the Switch, PlayStation 5.
Oh, Daytona USA is Daytona 2. Okay. I remember I used to work at a bowling alley and they had a six pod arcade. They were all connected. It was great fun. Bit dated though. The actual arcade. It was very much. It was just. Well, I used to play on the easy one. That's why it's a bit boring because you just go round and round and round.
Didn't they do virtual racing on the Switch as a re-release about a year ago, and you can play online? And the expert track is very hard today, even with this re-release.
Well,
it's a fantastic game.
I remember that coming out, and it wasn't particularly great. It was graphically, the Mega Drive version. It wasn't particularly great, and but. Yeah, I think the game overall, it was more of a show off of 3D graphics, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, trying to catch up with Star Fox, if I remember rightly, with the what was the chip called from Argonaut? I can't remember the chip. It was some special chip they had in there that brought the SNES up to the 3D graphics, the polygon graphics. It was a good
I remember virtual racing had a chip in it that they had to put in, which made it I think most games were about sort of £30 or something, and it made it about £50 or something, which back in the early 90s or late 80s was a lot of money.
Yeah, how is that?
It's a bit like games nowadays being, I don't know, £60 or £70, but that'll happen. Oh, hang on, it already has, hasn't it? And there you go. That's what happens in a podcast, Tom. We talk about Starfield and we end up talking about virtual racing.
Easy. It's an easy connection to make, isn't it?
Yes. Of course. Very, very good. What are we going for? 34 minutes already, you see? 34 minutes, and we've basically chatted to you and chatted about Starfield. So, I mean, I don't know if is there anything you want to know about Starfield? Is it something that you play, Tom?
I haven't touched it yet, but it's something I'm going to be looking at. It's
excellent. I highly recommend it.
if it comes on the Steam Deck, I'll be looking at it on my son's Steam Deck.
Well, I've heard that it's running, but some people have even recommended limiting it to 27 frames per second.
Oh wow!
Because obviously it's the bare minimum is a 1070. I think the minimum they've stated is a 1070 Ti. But some people with changing settings and using FSR, that kind of thing, have got 720p at 35 frames, 40 frames per second, with a lot of settings changed and tinkering. But generally, I think it's if you're expecting 4K 60 frames per second, you're going to be sorely mistaken.
Yeah. I did try Battle for Middle Earth 2 though on the Steam Deck the other day. That was it. That was a saga. Getting that running. It was an EA game, a strategy game.
Was that a PS2 game? Was it?
No, it was originally a PC game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was PC and then Xbox 360, but an RTS game was absolutely fantastic, especially the sequel.
Oh, the RTS game, yes.
Yeah, run it on the Steam Deck is certainly interesting, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm going through all the AAA games. I've just completed, I said a couple of episodes ago, completed Days Gone, which ran like an absolute dream on the Steam Deck. And I've also got, which I have played for half an hour, but it wasn't grabbing me. But as I said, I only played for half an hour. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I will try. Get into. And
I struggled with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's because I was playing on the Steam Deck or whatnot, but it didn't grab me. But I say half an hour. I probably played for somewhere between an hour and 2 hours kind of thing. So I basically did the intro. Yeah, but no. Yeah, I'd highly recommend Starfield, and we've somehow got to get Martin to be able to play it. Yeah, we've got to find you a 1 month trial to Game Pass Ultimate or something, and a way that you can play it.
Yeah,
that's not on a tiny little phone. I mean, you can do it on your phone, but it's not really going to give you the same effect. Plus,
I was looking at
I
was looking at BT Internet. I mean, I'm with BT, but I could upgrade my BT, and it does. The perk is that I get a year's free of Game Pass as part of it. But
then
I wouldn't have anything to play on it. yeah, it's £6 a month.
I've
more
got Game Pass, yay!
But my internet would go from 70 megabytes at the moment. It would go up to 900.
Okay.
That's the fastest, I guess. I don't know.
Would you pay? Would you pay more than, let's say, £13 a month for that benefit?
It would be about an additional £6 a month for what I.
Blimey!
Yeah, so it would be worth it just to get the internet, wouldn't it? I mean, I'll be.
Get yourself like some kind of smart stick that works, and hey presto, you get xCloud. Although, obviously, they don't call it that nowadays, do they?
I guess you could probably get quite a cheap Series S second-hand now, couldn't you, if you really wanted to? I mean, I don't know about marketplace.
CEX are throwing them out in the bins because they've got too many of them. They can't get rid of them.
I have to go to CX and search their bins.
Yeah, the Southend branch told me they've got too many of them. They just throw them away.
Wow.
So, I know.
Blimey, give them to the local hospital or something.
Exactly.
Well, but that's CEX for you. They probably have bosses who go, no, we can't give it away. Got to throw it away. Because what if they electrocute themselves? No, they got pat testers.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you could, if you got a tablet, you could stream the game past the tablet and then put a Stadia controller up to it, or even an Xbox controller, and you're done.
Well, he's got PS5. I think PS5 controllers have Bluetooth, don't they?
There you go. Yeah, that would work.
I'd hope so. I'd hope they have Bluetooth.
Although that's interesting.
Then again,
what about the new PlayStation handheld? No Bluetooth.
Well,
we discussed that last week, didn't we? The handheld.
Yeah, the £200 PlayStation Portal
with no Bluetooth
and no PlayStation streaming either. apart from the game that you play in the device. So you can't use any of the online gaming.
So would you have to have your PlayStation 5 play on while you're playing it?
Yeah. You put your game in, you can use the game and then stream the game to the device. But if you want to use any of the online games that come with your subscription, you can't do it.
Wow.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's not like xCloud. You can't use the xCloud like the cloud streaming kind of thing. It's basically what you've got on your console.
On your PS5.
I'm sure that's something that they could update. It's more of a software update. I mean, here I am defending them. Yeah, I'm normally the one that's like, it's going to be a bit rubbish that. But surely that would be more of a software update that they could do that.
Hopefully it's optimization rather than a lockout completely.
So would you, if you like wanted to play on a train, would you have to have your PS5 on at your house or to be able
to and you'd have to have a really good connection on the train.
Yeah.
Although most
it's a bit like
now,
but it's a So it's probably a little bit similar to how the Wii U worked, because you'd have to have if you wanted to play on the screen, you'd have to have your Wii U on, but obviously not completely the same, but it's that same sort of premise. So I used to just shove my Wii U on and then I could just play on my tablet like it was a Switch, and obviously the Switch came along and just meant that
I didn't know you could do that. So you could actually, if it didn't need a second screen like the Wii U games do,
so like
you could actually stream.
Yeah, so like I would play like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask just on my Wii U tablet, but I'd have to have my console connected to like the TV. So I'd just turn the TV off, but you would have to, and you have to be quite close to your Wii U console as well. So you can't like, so I couldn't take it on a train or something like the PS5 unless I was able to bring my Wii U and the TV with
and
me.
you couldn't fit it in your pocket either, could you? Really?
Yeah. But it did give you the ability to like play like certain games.
Hey, see the Wii U. I mean, it was a great piece of kit, like ahead of its time. Maybe not technically a great piece of kit, but it had a lot of features that were fantastic. I think it was similar to the PS Vita, wasn't it? That basically it was so easy to pirate that no one bought anything. So as far as Nintendo were concerned, it was a complete flop.
And I think in the development process, they tried to do the Switch. That was essentially what they were trying to achieve. And it fell on its face. So they did what they could achieve with the technology that was available. And you, like you just said, Martin, you can sit there and play most games without even having HDMI connected to the box. But the biggest hang up is that once you get about 3 foot away, the signal disappears on the device. So you do have to be close. It's a great one for playing in bed, as long as the console's in your room.
I mean, I play like Donkey Kong Country on it and stuff like that. But again, I've got to make sure that my Wii U is in close vicinity. Yeah, so like in my bedroom, it's perfect because that's where my Wii U is, so I can lie in bed. I won't have the Wii U in bed with
I'm presuming that games that required a second screen, were they either just not work or you just couldn't have the second, like Zombie U that you were talking about earlier, that you had to sort of use it as a camera to aim, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
So
you needed 2 screens.
So I'm guessing you couldn't stream that one.
No.
Yeah.
But that function's no longer in the current, but on the Steam library, that function's disappeared. So it's been adapted, I think, to meet.
Well, you could get Zombie. I think Zombie was a Games with Gold on Xbox as well. So technically, I own it. But no, I don't really own it, kind of thing. But yeah, I did play it, and it was good fun. I remember, it was a bit. I don't know what it was. There was something that annoyed me about it. I don't know. I don't quite know. Maybe it was it was too hard. I don't know, or something. But
I think I
played it for about 2 or 3 hours and got a couple of achievements and then moved on.
I think within 6 hours you could have completed it. To be honest,
was it quite a short game?
Okay. Yeah, if you're willing to sit there and focus, but it would have made a great VR game. I think it's a shame that was never ported over.
Excellent.
Could have just persevered for a few more hours, Russell. Duncan. You would have had another game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know Russell.
Someone else knows.
Where did Russell come from?
I don't know. Maybe I do another podcast that you don't know about.
I've just remembered something that we should clarify that from our last episode. We did look it up. Sean Bean does not die in Sharp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's all we'll talk about Sean Bean in this episode.
Yeah. We found out. Yeah, we had that. We had to find it after the podcast.
Yeah,
we found out he had died
quite for a while about
times.
Sean Bean.
But, yeah, that was a low point of the gaming podcast. We went on a Sean Bean, different ways Sean Bean died,
and Sharp.
Yeah, movies or.
I think I even messaged Duncan about that. Sean Bean's dead.
No, not Sean Bean, the actor lives on, but Sean Bean in any.
I just told our viewers we weren't going to talk about Sean Bean, and now we're talking about Sean Bean.
It's addictive.
It's because I saw him die in Game of Thrones, so that's why we
the
got
gaming podcast sponsored by Sean Bean.
I know.
We're not sponsored by Sean Bean, just to clarify. Anyway,
Sean Bean's character.
So just is it going good though with Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, I'm just going out. I'm on series 2 at the moment. I'll give you an update when I finish series 2.
Excellent.
Just for those who haven't watched Game of Thrones, Duncan and probably like a few others out there.
I've never watched it.
No. Oh, there you go.
Wow.
I watched the first 4 episodes. That's 4. Yeah, 4. I've watched the first 4 episodes and was like, yeah, this ain't for me, and never bothered watching it. So
I'm enjoying it. But...
So
should we have a look at what games came out?
Yes,
on this day,
because I think what I said about this is one of the greatest games of all time, and its sister, one of the greatest games of all time. Final Fantasy 7 and 8 came out respectively 26 and 24 years ago. Wow, 26 years since you could dress up as a, I can't remember what they're called, like a host lady, and
people just still play Final Fantasy 7 now, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I own the PC version on Steam, which the modern ones have quite a good where you can turn off random encounters, and you can put yourself as invincible, or have 9,999 health and all this kind of thing. So if you want to experience it and not have the frustration of dying in certain missions, you can do that. So yeah, if it does it work nowadays? I don't know. What do you think? Have you played through Final Fantasy 7?
I love it. It's had a HD remake, hasn't it?
Well, yeah. The remake though is one of these modern Final Fantasies that has the all the 3D. It's more action based, and people say, "Oh yeah, you can pause it," but yeah. No, I haven't tried. I haven't tried it because I haven't bought it on PC.
So I guess you wouldn't have been able to play the newest Final Fantasy, Duncan.
Well, you can get it on PC now. But a typical SquareSoft games is it never ever gets reduced. Never. So it's still generally about, I think it's £50. Even though now it's probably 4 years old game. Something like that. So no. But no, the original. Play the original, everybody. Yeah. Because I don't know if in the remake they have it where you can dress up as not a geisha, like a host lady. One of the missions that you have is to dress up like a lady so that you can get into a bathhouse kind of thing, I think. And it has some terrible bits like the snowboarding and it has grindy bits where you might not be strong enough, so you have to go around and find random battles to get your levels up. So yeah, so it has, again, like most of these games, it has good bits, it has bad bits, but overall it is an amazing game, absolutely amazing. And then Final Fantasy VIII, they went more serious with Final Fantasy VIII. But still, absolutely amazing game. And yeah,
Super best of time.
Yeah, both of them. Get both of them. Get 9 as well, because 9's
not
brilliant.
to bring it back to the new one, but there was one that came out in 2023. I'm pretty sure.
It's like the second part,
PS5.
wasn't it?
Is it? I just know there was one. But I don't really play the Final Fantasy games, so I'm probably not the best person. But I know when it came out, it was it got quite good reviews from.
It's people enjoy it, and if you want to, as I said, I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on whether it's good or not. But ever since Final Fantasy 12, I think it was the first one that had the sort of 3D fighting, and didn't have the tactical turn-based. I much prefer turn-based. If you go to things like Yakuza, the Yakuza series, or Ishi, as it is now, or was always in Japan. Was it the Like a Dragon?
Yeah.
Which apparently Ishi means like a dragon. Apparently. Or something like that. Oh. Or is Ishi mean... I don't know. But anyway, the Like a Dragon game, absolutely love that. The turn-based combat, the hilarious missions that you had. Love that. And I've tried to play the other Yakuzas, and they're more action-based. Can't get on with them. Even though they've got the same humour, the same craziness. Just, I can't get on with it as much. So give me Final Fantasy VII Original any day. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Glad that people like it and people have got the same story. But I don't know if it will be for me. I think at some point in my life I will play it, but just not now. Especially with Starfield out.
You've got enough stuff on your plate as it is to start bringing in more
games. Indeed.
I'm just I'm having a look now, and I can see that Silent Hill 4, The Room. I know it might not be.
Oh, The Room.
But it was a game I had it on the Xbox, and I don't know if you have played it, but you had your little flat, didn't you? And there was that bit in your flat where you could enter, and you would end up in where the zombies were. But you could do things in your flat, like you could ring people, could you? And you could look out your window. I just got to the point where I didn't go into the room. I was like, I'll just live in my flat because I don't have to. It made the game a little. Yeah, I was.
It's like playing Resident Evil 7 and just hanging around in the garden outside the house. Well, it's quite a nice garden.
I was like, well, there's nothing going on in my flat's safe. I'll just stay here. I'll just go and get a job and stuff like that. But
I struggled with Silent Hill 4. I mean, I think because I was there when the first 2 came out, and Silent Hill 2, the director's cut or the extended cut, was such a phenomenal game. So when we started to get to 3 and 4 and so on, I think they didn't really hold up as well.
Yeah, I mean,
the original PlayStation. Yeah, it's like when they came out and you had like Resident Evil, the Resident Evil games with the Silent Hill. I mean, that's probably like a golden era for horror games, and right at the start of when horror games started sort of coming out. And
the original couple of Resident Evils, they had the jump scares and the times where you go through a door and you didn't know what was on the other side. And obviously the first one, you had the dogs jumping through the window. But Silent Hill was the first one where you actually had terror because of the fog, and you could hear things and you didn't know where they were, and there was an actual terror of, oh my god, what's through this fog? If I walk to that side, is there some horrific, gross thing that's going to jump out at me or attack me or something? And
that's how you should feel playing a horror game. You should feel
exactly.
Like I would always be on edge, like I'm going to die at any moment, because shooting was really hard. Like aiming was just difficult. Yeah, and you would have like limited ammo, so you would just always be like, I'm just on the brink of death constantly.
You had to get to the railway bridge, didn't you, to get underneath to get the baseball bat through the fence before you then go and investigate elsewhere.
I can't remember. I'm such a wuss. I played the Silent Hill when it came out, and I completed it, and I think I traded it in once I completed it because I'm like, yep, never play that again.
Too scared to have it in your house with you. But yeah, no, Silent Hill was. I think that was scary. Like for me, I found that scarier than the Resident Evil.
Oh,
games.
definitely.
Interestingly, Tiger Games released a version of Resident Evil on the handheld they released called the Game.com, and it was blurry bitmap graphics, black and white, not scary at all, very hard to follow, but it was a good game. And if you ever get a chance to play it, even emulated, it's worth doing. Especially, and they also do Batman as well, which was an in-game pack, Batman and Robin. But yeah, the Resident Evil didn't relate to anything.
Look that up.
Yeah, it was on tigergame.com is the console it was released on.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at that. Yeah, it's almost like Game Boy kind of graphics.
Yeah, very blurry. It had a really terrible screen. But the device did internet. You could use it to go on the internet. In those days, it was phenomenal, and it had a lot of licensed games such as Mortal Kombat, Jurassic Park, Sonic was on there as well. So, but Resident Evil was always stuck on my mind on that one.
Was it? I mean, it looks like it's something that probably was ported from a Game Boy almost. Oh, there was Resident Evil 2 Advance.
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy Advance. Oh, it was a tech demo. Yeah. Oh, it looks like a full 3D game.
It was a clever game on the Game Boy Advance. It used some really skillful techniques to get that to run.
Well, all I know is, I mean, things like Outlast, I've never got. I've played Outlast. I managed about an hour. And I own it. I actually bought it because I was like, right, I'm going to get into this game. Yes. And yeah, I managed about an hour. And then I was like, no. Do you know what? My heart cannot take this. I have literally had heart surgery in my life. So no. I'd rather keep my heart in my chest. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I played Outlast, and it is like, you do want to have, like, when you're playing the horror game, you want to be scared, but you do want to know, like, if it came to it, you would be able to potentially kill the zombie. Whereas Outlast, you don't have that option because the only thing you have is a camera, so you can take a picture of it. But
smile.
You can just hide, isn't it? It's just about hiding. In Outlast.
Exactly.
So,
It's walk, and then hide, and then hide for a bit longer, and then hide for a bit longer, and then go out, run back because you get scared again, and hide a bit longer, and then maybe walk a bit further. But yeah, I didn't last long in it, and I will gladly admit that I am a massive wuss with horror games.
We were discussing Resident Evil on the PlayStation VR before we started recording, and one of the iconic scenes on Resident Evil on the PlayStation original VR is in the basement that is flooded. And you go through the basement, and it's all clear.
That's like the crocodile or something?
Oh, no. It was a woman. And then you walk back again, and all of a sudden the woman would jump out of the water and chase you. And, we set that up in the bedroom to play.
Oh, the Resident Evil VR. Okay.
I'm
thinking of Resident Evil 2. That's the.
It was definitely a moment for peeing your pants, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I can imagine just playing it on a console is bad enough, but doing it on VR where you actually make your stuff.
And she's all manic as well, so she's all like, you know.
Oh yeah, I told you, I will do it for the podcast. Yeah, a friend of mine put Resident Evil 7 on VR, on PlayStation VR, and it was in the house at the beginning. And no, I took it off after about 3 or 4 minutes. I was like, no, this really isn't for me. This really, no, don't want to play it. And he's like, okay, all right, but
I feel like we should film Duncan doing this at my house on VR and see how he reacts.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few of those where they get people who are absolute wussies to do things, and yeah,
might go viral.
I would turn around and walk backwards in some of these things. I saw it. I've seen people on YouTube who have been forced to. Yeah, generally the idea is you walk backwards because then if something scares you behind you and kills you. But then nowadays you have the things that where when they kill you, it's a set thing that you can see it and they attack you. So walking backwards doesn't really work, unfortunately.
If you're doing that and then you bump into Tom, you'll probably think You'll probably freak out, won't you? Like, attack Tom.
I can just imagine it now, just watching the video of the outside and somebody just tapping me on the shoulder and me. Ah!
Many a time I've done that to the kids. So great fun.
Oh yes, right. Well, I think we're coming up to an hour now. So
yeah.
So are we gonna?
Yeah.
I think it's been quite a filled episode.
Yeah.
And as you can see, yes, Tom, we generally, this is what happens: is we just end up talking about
anything
anything really. We're like a catapult kind of thing. You just pull us back and just set us off, focus.
See where it goes.
And we end up chatting about everything.
Starfield to Resident Evil to game.com.
Indeed.
To Atari Jaguars and
oh yes,
all the what an episode, I'd say. You know, if you're listening and watching this episode, you've had a treat, haven't you? So yeah, I think it's probably a good time to call it because
a day. But just to clarify, people, we're recording this on Thursday, so that if there's anything that happens at the weekend, because last week we were talking about stuff, and I don't know whether we said that it was the Thursday night, but we're releasing on Monday, but we were recording on the Thursday before to make sure we all got a chance to record and edit and whatnot. So all good.
Thank you for listening, watching as well. Anyone want to say anything before we say bye to our
bye?
Nanu.
Just bye. More Colin Orson. Come in, Orson.
Like and subscribe.
Hey, like and subscribe.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.